Hi, I'm Miss Magda, and today we're going to be doing a really fun science experiment. Actually, we're going to be doing it today and tomorrow. This one lasts a little bit longer, and it's going to involve these gummy bears in my hands. So, we're going to be seeing what happens to these gummy bears when we leave them overnight in different solutions. And there's a really important reason we're doing this, okay? I'm going to say it. We're doing this to have fun. Is that surprising? We don't always have to have some super important reason or a super important why of what we're doing. Learning is fun, and seeing why things happen and how things happen and what happens to things is fun, even if there's not some really important end goal. We're doing this to have fun, and if you're lucky, maybe you can even eat some of the leftover gummy bears when you're done. That's what I plan to do. So let's get started. All right, so if you want to do this at home while I do it as well, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some gummy bears. I only have 4 in my hands right now, but you're going to want a few more because you're going to need some to compare the original gummy bears to the ones that have been in solutions overnight. So you're also going to need some jars of water. I have 4 jars of water, and we're going to mix a few things in it. 1 jar is just going to have water. 1 jar, we're going to pour a little salt into. 1 jar, we're going to pour a little baking soda into, and a little bit of vinegar. I've already poured the vinegar into this container just because my bottle of vinegar is extremely large and I can spill very easily with it. So grab those things and then I'll tell you what to do next. All right, I've got 4 jars of water. Hopefully you do too. I've got 3 spoons here. You don't need a spoon in 1 jar because we're going to leave 1 jar just with water. And so we're not going to need to mix anything in there. So this jar is already done until I put the gummy bear in, but we'll get to that. All right, so this jar right here, the second jar, I'm going to pour in some salt. Okay, I just poured some in, no need to measure. Again, this is for fun. You don't have to make it super official. You don't have to have a certain amount. You can if you want to put the same amount of everything in it. I totally understand that, but you don't need to. This is just for fun. We want to see what happens. So I'm stirring my water and salt. So my second jar, this is salt water. Now I'm going to pour into this jar. So not the jar just with water, not the salt water jar, but the next jar. I'm going to pour in some baking soda. Again, I just poured some. Doesn't need to be super official. Don't need to measure unless you want to. And you're gonna stir that all together, okay? And in my last jar here, because I don't want anything else in this one, it's just water. This is salt water. This is baking soda water. And in my last jar of water here, I'm going to mix in some vinegar, okay? Mix it all up together. So now I have my different jars. Each is a different solution. This is just water, salt water, baking soda water, and vinegar water. And I'm going to take a different color gummy bear. You can see I have 4 colors here. You're gonna take a different color gummy bear and put one in each jar. So my red is going in the water. My pink is going to go into the salt water. The green is going to go into the baking soda water. And the light blue that I have here is going to go into the vinegar water. Now is the hardest part of this entire experiment. We have to wait. I know it's so hard to wait to see what's going to happen, but we want to give this time. We want to give the gummy bears time to settle in these solutions to see what's going to happen to them. So we're going to come back in 1 day, 24 hours, 1 day. We're going to come back and we're going to look at what's happened to our gummy bears in the different solutions. Hi again. I have waited so long to look at these gummy bears. So let's see what happened to them as we waited overnight for them to soak in the different solutions. Look at what happened to the gummy bears overnight. These are the original gummy bears, and the ones that grew are the ones that soaked in a solution overnight. They all grew a lot, and they all changed in the way that they feel to touch. Some of them even changed in the way they look in terms of this one is more see-through. This one seems a little less see-through almost. The one that was in the baking soda water, if you pick them up, you can really feel how different they are. Some are really easy to tear, like this one. Some, it's gonna take a little more work to tear, like the vinegar water one. I wonder if you had the same results. How cool is that? We got to see what happened to gummy bears after they sat overnight in different solutions, and we did it just for fun. And now, possibly the most fun part of all, just kidding, I think the learning's most fun, but the tastiest part of all, if you ask really nicely, if you did this at home and have some extra gummy bears to spare, maybe you'll actually get to eat one. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learned something just for fun. Again, I'm Miss Magda. Go learn and be kind.